Welcome back. Juicy news. BTC below 100k. The crypto cycle now put into question, baby dolls. You and I are going to be exploring a few things. We're going to go through, look at all the technical price action levels. It's kind of funny, friends. We are going to war. And do you believe it or not, there's actually no news today. And I'm not even joking. There's literally nothing. There's only one piece of news. Okay, what is it? Soy Bankman-Fried is appealing, which we already knew. That's literally it. Nothing else has come out. This is kind of wild to see. Like, there's literally just no news. It's just like a full, just technical retrace. This is BTC, friends, dipping. It went below 100,000 on some exchanges. Could keep going lower. It does look absolutely atrocious. Now we've had 2 red monthly candles in a row. Let's check it out. Bitcoin, 20% retrace. What I want to now do, friends, I just want to remind you of something. So I made a post. I've got a video coming out later on as well, reminding you of this. So altcoins, you can measure how well they do based off the number of monthly candles they have in the year, whether it's a bull or a bear. And if you check Ethereum, Ethereum has actually been in a bear market this year. So Ethereum, in its bear markets, has 8 red monthly candles. 8. We are now on the 8th one for Ethereum. We've only had 3 green months this year. That's crazy. So, like, we've been in a bear market this whole time. What I'm now going to do, I'm going to count for you what we have in Bitcoin, okay? So, in Bitcoin, friends, we had a green here, and then 2 red, and then 4 green, and then we had it here. So, let's count the reds. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have the 5th red here. That's atrocious. That's absolutely atrocious. That's not bull market stuff. Even if we go back to 2021, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 6 after the big run-up. But the thing is, we came off this big giant run-up as well. So we had 3 green monthly candles running into 2021. So you basically started in cheat code. You started with 3 green monthly candles in a row. With us, I mean, it's been atrocious. I mean, if you look at Ethereum as well, friends, Ethereum did 7 green monthly candles in a row. In 2021. All right, so we are absolutely still in bear market territory. That's why, you don't want to be like, you don't want to be a signal of sorts by saying, oh, we actually haven't started. We haven't started. I think what we should now do is we'll look at the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. We'll look at some technical stuff because like everything's dropping, right? So this was a circle of the previous monthly low, and we've cracked through. We went down. We actually cracked on through, and now, friends, this level is the previous monthly low. That's actually the wick. So Bitcoin's actually now down to the wick. And now everyone's, I guess, going to see, can this thing hold? All right, can this thing hold? I hope it holds. I don't want to jinx anything. All right, I hope it holds. But, normally what happens is even if it's going to break later, it will come up. Even if it's going to break, it will come up and just scam everybody again before it, fakes out and then comes back down. That's even if it is going to break. So like just as a lot of big players will come out here, but you'll see a lot of people who are short, they're not going to get out or anything on here because they're ultimately bearish for a bear market. So they're going to play out for the whole thesis. But if it truly is year of the snake, maybe now they have their turn and they think, oh, you think we're going to a bear market, and then it's going to deceive them back. Maybe. We'll see. A bunch of maybes. No one knows what the hell's going on, friends. So we have basically this level around 100k. Psychologically, we did get under it, but whatever. It could always be another one schizo action that comes out here. It is wild just to see all of these things play out and fake out. Man, just looking back at that 125k top, what an absolute scam. Do you remember at the beginning of the year, friends, I said, oh man, I said to all of us, I go, guys, I'm just reporting to you, every single person wants to sell at 150k. Even the non-believers, people who have had enough of the cycle, 150 was their price point. And then it was literally the beginning of the year. I didn't know it would get like this. But friends, when every single person has a 150k target, that's why I always said Bitcoin 125 to 130. I just didn't think Ethereum would still be garbage. So it is what it is, right? You never know these. It's purely astrology. It is. I was hoping one day it would line up in our favor. Hoping. It is. Unfortunately, Ethereum is now back in the wedge. My gosh, I'm just going to delete this. What a freaking joke. I'm just going to delete this stupid wedge triangle. You're gone now. What an absolute joke, man. Unless you want to be connecting. Oh, no. Let's not ignore the wicks. Let's connect the bodies of the candle and hope it closes on through. No one gives a shit, bro. These things are just, everything's just trash. Everything's just completely garbage. It is interesting as well, friends. There are, look, I'll just tell you something as well. Be careful of crypto KOLs who are getting in your head. Because, okay, you know, what was the winning move, friends? The winning move was buy Bitcoin and buy soy. Okay. Those same KOLs, though, firstly, they were not bullish on Solana under $20. No, they weren't. 99% of them were not. I was here. No, they weren't. When did they start yelling about Solana? When it broke $100. Were they still shilling it at $300? You absolutely bet. Remember, they were turbo shilling on Trump because they said, "Don't, we're going to 1,000." All of them. But now that Solana comes back down, for just give you an example, right? They're just pretending like, "Oh no, but I told you to, like, you know, buy and sell and do everything." So it's just, that's ConMen, friends. People, shillers, there's literally shilling snake oil. It's a year of the snake oil, right? They're shilling you this confidence, like, "Oh, if you follow me, if you buy my indicator, if you subscribe to my group, I will look after you. I will do this." It's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, it's always a bunch of garbage. Also, I was here, friends. They were not bullish on Bitcoin at 16K. Okay, they were not bullish on Bitcoin at 16K. The first round of KOLs, like, I'll just give you an example. For example, like Elio trades and stuff, they started thinking about being bullish when Bitcoin touched 30, but they still didn't capitulate in until it broke up to 33. So think about this. The only winning play is to have, when most of the crowd gets bullish at like 35K BTC, you're up about 2 or 3x. But then here's another like thing, spanner in the works, okay? Friends, you were here. Everybody was saying to sell because Trump's going to cause a recession. They were selling, or everybody was selling on this Trump tariff tantrum stuff. So we have the weekly chart here, and we're coming down. Remember, if we go back, friends, look at this. This is just, remember the weekly super trend, the green weekly super trend. We're still here. You got to remember, friends, people who have different indicators, like for example, Ivan's indicator, like you can see it's just a tighter band ATR. Like if you tighten the ATR, you get more fake outs, but it keeps switching back and forth. But if you actually try to use it for a system, you'll get chopped up hard. Okay, because it'll keep, like I'll just show you, right? I mean, like if I just change this ATR, right? See, it's an ATR. Oh, let's do from 3 down to 1.5. You see this? Look, it tells you to sell at the bottom of Trump tariff tantrum, and then when it tells you to buy, you are buying on the weekly close. So you're basically, look at this, friends. You sell at 80, you buy back at 105. You sell at 108. You have to buy it back at 120, and now you're selling at the end of these weekly candles. You're literally just getting chopped up. Okay, but what KOLs will do, friends, is they will like basically they'll zoom in to an indicator. I remember as well, Ivan's indicator actually did flip red here. And I was still like bullish because the normal default super trend didn't flip. But then like you're bearish, you're like, "Oh no, what happens?" And then you got to get back in. So friends, you got to think about this. If you're getting in here, if you're selling at the end of this candle, like you've lost 14% of your position, and you're paying tax, by the way. Do you see what I mean? And that, imagine doing that like 3 or 4 times. You like lose the third of your portfolio, right? FOMOing in and out. You have no idea what's going on. So that's what I'm just showing you. So what I'm going to do now, let's go through some stuff. I just want to bring this to your attention, okay? I know it looks bad. It always looks bad, right? Always looks bad. It's horrible. However, we actually haven't broken anything. We have not broken anything. Okay. This is Bitcoin when Japan's Pokemon Island exploded. We went down and we wicked below the super trend. Remember, the super trend is 3 times the ATR. Okay. 3 times the ATR. So if we have a quick look at it, right? We did fake everyone out. Okay, and then what ends up happening? We go up, and then look what happens. Trump's tariff tantrum. We came out. We actually came very close to it as well. It looked like it was over. It was gonna scam us out as well here. And now here we are again. Now the line is at 96,000. So like, you know, anything can happen in markets, man. Like look how much it wicked on Japan's Pokemon Island explosion. Like it wicked 5% below that. You want to talk about what's possible? I mean, it could go, yeah, we could see Bitcoin 90K, 89. It could do that. And hopefully it doesn't close there. It'll be like very scary, right? But also, like I've just show you something to think about. On these big giant wicks, on these big giant ones, there were huge run-ups first, right? There were these giant run-ups first. So that it looks like this. On this one, it's kind of like we didn't have much of a run-up. So, yeah, there's always case. There's always room to go lower, etc., etc. But I'm just showing you, technically, nothing's broken. If you want to actually measure a bear market, when does a bear market actually start? Historically, it's Bitcoin closes a week below that weekly super trend. All right, that's why it actually gets scary. If you look at the 2017 cycle, it had, friends, remember, like, it had like 4 or 5 touch points, which I can show you now. Look at this. Look how often it did this. Okay, look at this. It wicked below 1. Look at this. Fake out. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wild, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the 5th one. Almost. See, then it's like 5. Pretty much 5 touches, friends. This is like, you can count this. You never know. We might do something like this. You never know. 5 or 6 times. 7 and actually like bang, it actually broke on through. That's a lot of touches, man. 6 to 7 touches. We might actually find that happens for us. You might actually find it happens for us, friends. Depends. Do you want to count this one? This one was definitely 1, 2. This is like the 3rd one now. You know, does that imply we're going to have more touches? So we don't know, obviously, what happens. But, you know, I've got a cute peppy snake here. Year of the snake. So, no, year of deception. Next year's year of the horse. Hopefully, better times come out ahead. Okay, so I just want to show you, technically, if you're just looking at the prices, nothing's actually broken. Okay, these are, I know it's been painful, but it's standard. All right, if you even look at Bitcoin from the top, down 20%. What did it do before? Down 30%. So yeah, this one was barely of a move though, and then it's done. We're at 30% moves. If you wanted to go the full Monty and we go, hey, well, the 30% drop B, we're at 88, 89K. But remember, we didn't move up as much. You know, so just, you know, you've got a good picture there to have a look at. This is Bitcoin dominance, friends. It's still, you got this 10-period moving average, and it's climbing up here as Ethereum's weak. We'll see how it plays out. I know everyone's pretty much saying it's over, but you know, the thing is, they've been saying it's over for a long time, and it has been over. So how much credibility do we add to that? If we look at as well, friends, Bitcoin on its 6-month chart, this is actually where we want to have a look at it here. Bitcoin, friends, on its 6-month chart, it's red now. It actually is red. And it is 100K. Wow, interesting. I wonder what happens here, huh? Because whenever we've had a red 6-month candle, yes, the next one's pooper as well. That's actually full bear market stuff, okay? So why are we all going down though? Like, it's just, we were weak as equities ran up, and we're weak as they went down. Remember, no matter what happens, like, we're just destined to get bonked. And there's always a story, isn't there, friends? Let's play some angel music. There's always a story. There's always this, oh, the treasury gay account. Oh, the liquidity down or up. It's the same thing every time, man, isn't it? There's always something trash. I'm going to have a look at the racist Russell 2000. Let's check out his racism. Here is racist Russell 2000. Gapped below. Here he is, below the all-time high again. Like, that's surprise. Man, 7 times, friends. 7 times. Comes up above. No, now we're back again. Like, come on, man. Absolute racism here. What do you do? What do you do? So, racist Russell 2000 right below the high. We've had PMI 36 months bad. 36 months, man. That's absolutely bonkers. Having a look. 36 months bad, dude. 30 freaking 6. The next one's going to be trash too, that's for sure. It's going to be 37, 38, 39. Like, nothing's ever going to bring it up, man. Nothing. It's like we just doomed forever to never go up. The US dollar is rallying as there's risk off as well. It does give them permission to print and stuff now, though. It does give them permission to cut rates and do everything. A lot of everyone's trying to look for the context of where we are compared to previous cycles. What I actually quickly do, friends, I'll just show you. So what's been happening is this is S&P 500. It's pulled back 2 or 3%, very standard. It does these 2 or 3% pullbacks, etc., etc. Yeah, but everyone's trying to see what year are we like. We always like to guess, oh, it's like 2017, 2018, 2019. Like, there's a bit of everything. There's just a bit of everything. It's kind of like the stock market. They're trying to look at every bull market and say, hey, where does this fit in? It's just, we're trying to correlate stuff that's not there. We're trying to see patterns that aren't there. So this is OTHERS-btc, still here. They're ending QT. You want to know what's something interesting, friends? If I go back to around August, September 2019, and we look at Bitcoin's price, which is what we have here when they entered QT as well. So we were around here. Okay, we were around here in the bear market. After a giant run, we flipped red on the weekly super trend. Okay, however, I want to tell you something, okay? They held rates here. They held rates. And then we ran up, and then they started cutting. And this is what happened, okay? And then you have zombie virus, and they did the huge money print as well. So I'm wondering, right? I'm wondering, like, what's the context that's going to bring us some sort of conclusion here? Unfortunately, still flipping a coin, but OTHERS-btc, man, did bottom when you had that balance sheet stopping here. But you know, man, it's a trash thing to think about. It's like, because it's monthly, and then look how absolutely garbage it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only after 5 months do you kind of feel okay. You start to feel okay. You don't like anywhere near gains, just kind of feel okay. But you need like a full 12 months to the DeFi season peak, right? So if we were to do that, that would like imply an alt season wave 1 at the end of next year. That's why I actually have this circle here. It would imply, if we followed something similar, alt season wave 1 peaks June, July, August, Sep next year. Everyone thinks it's over, and then we run into the year after for alt season wave 2. But how many people are going to risk that, by the way? Imagine we get them FOMOing back in as well, because there's going to be crashes and stuff along the way. It's just, yeah. Oh, well, cursed forever, huh? Now, during these tough times, everyone's going to pull out their fractals. They're just showing everything going to zero constantly, which is, you know, obviously it's a given. We have gold, still weak. Gold right here, friends. Gold still weak down here. What does that mean, though, moving forward? Are they going to do something that crack the system first? We'll see. Just an interesting observation. I can let you know, friends, as well. A lot of the people, so it's contrarian to be bullish, right? It's actually, no one thinks next year's a good year at all. No one. Even, let's say, trader main or people who think that there's still a bit left, they want to sell very soon too. So they want to sell like in December, maximum January, like they think, and then that's it. They think it's all over, right? So how do you compute all of those together and try to figure out where you should be? The truth is, we never know. We never know. Like, you always pray that it does what you think it's going to do. Like, you keep going up. You never get that, okay? There's always these things of turmoil and stuff. That's why as well, friends, if you notice with me, I told you as well, we're just totally guessing, man. Because, you know, friends, when people do this, when you do these astrology lines, if you take them seriously, you'll lose so much confidence in yourself, because you keep getting humbled. Like, you know, you got absolutely no idea, right? You have no idea, literally just 50-50. And that's why the people who come and they claim this self-righteous skill, like they can do stuff out here, that's why a lot of people have disdain and they got a bad taste in their mouth when you sit through it, right? Because you just ask these people, like, hey, if you're so smart, why are you still here? Why are you still working? Why aren't you a retired trillionaire or anything out here, okay? And you very quickly come to the answer. So where does that leave us now? If we look at the Bitcoin global liquidity fractal with gold, it's, man, now or never. Like, it's, are we ever going to get this? We just keep moving this stuff as well, friends. It is what it is. You know, you just keep losing hope. We stopped early. Remember, friends, we knew as well that the global M2, it doesn't pick the top for you. Nothing can. Crypto tops out before the global M2 by like 4 or 5 months. It's game over by the time it does. You have no idea by the time they start dropping it. You know, that's why everyone was relying on massive indicators. Remember, friends, people had there was like this list of 30 indicators that haven't called the top, and everyone's like, oh, top's not in because 30 of them haven't pinged. Doesn't matter, man. He's still going through so much pain. A lot of people think it's just, feel like it's totally over. This is, looking at that chart, this is gold. Are we going to get this magnificent run? I mean, it feels like, friends, literally it's down. It's like, it's just uncorrelating now. Nothing works. Nothing works, man. Nothing works, friends. Literally nothing works. This whole industry is just fucking cooked. Nothing works, man. You're just waiting and waiting, and then, oh my gosh, every time it goes down, one guy's like, oh, my indicator that flipped 58 times, it flipped red last time. Oh, gosh, you know, we're going to keep going through this forever, aren't we? Having a look at BTC and its levels. hanging around this previous monthly low. Where will the next one after that be? 97K. And then what? There's 94, 93. Yeah, everything just looks absolutely bonkers. I mean, you can see it right now, friends. Trading below 100. Coming out here. Yes. Absolute pooped. And as we watch the industry cook in real time, man, look at these retracements, man. Retrace. Man, this is disastrous. For example, this is Chainlink, friends. A lot of these coins, they're down 51% already. Yeah, let's even have a look at XRP together. XRP getting cooked, down 42, 43%. Jeez, man. Oh my gosh. Everything went from super cheap to like now you're going to drop again 50%. It's just, what do you do, man? Cursed forever. I think what's the worst about all of this is how much value we know has been added in crypto in the past 7 to 8 years, but OTHERS-btc, everything still continues to go down and round trip. It's not even like speculation, like the value that's actually been added. Open finance, peer-to-peer, decentralized lending, all the DeFi stuff, stable coins, all this functionality, self-sovereignty, connecting the whole world, it's global, right? You have all these stuff they've made, privacy. We can go on and on and on. All these things we've made, market gives us zero value. Literally zero value. And, you know, which is just wild. Like, you know, you have literally 1,000 unprofitable companies that no one cares about, right? And they're losing money too, right? 1,000 unprofitable companies in the Russell 2000 still getting a bid, still receiving a bid. You got Palantir, went up to 300 PE pretty much. You get back your money in 300 years of earnings. Oh my gosh, it is what it is, right? And then you have, like, you know, Zcash just going up one move. But just, friends, it's Zcash. You can also see people are pumping Zcash after it's done this 10, 11x. Look how aggressive they are when it comes in. And also you can see people FOMO everything else. They're selling altcoins down super, super low because they go, oh, Zcash is going to be the thing that goes up. But you're buying after a quick 12x. All right, how long can that last? You can just see people are acting off emotion both ways. My friend, Mr. Dossman in Telegram, has also said, this hurts, but I'm not holding for 5 years to sell now. Same as me. Same as not selling now. Don't care. So I've got the news here, friends. There's literally, honestly, I'm not joking. There's literally no news today. It's just literally, we're cooked. That's the news. That's why the news is Fugazi. The news doesn't matter. You saw Trump and G and all these other stuff doesn't matter. Okay. Now, because we're going down, everyone's like, what's the news? What's the news? They're going to go, oh, government shutdown. You know, oh, no, government shutdown. Why are we lower a year after when Donald Trump got in? You know, there's no logic for that. It's just, you know, markets are always trying to discount the future, whatever they see. Man, that's wild, friends. Can you believe that? So from January, which was here, Bitcoin, yeah, it's basically flat for the year. Jeez, man, it's flat for the year. It's just Bitcoin. Ethereum is already in a red year. If Bitcoin's in a red year, man, just friends. Can I tell you something though? Do you remember I told you about Dark Prophecy? Remember, friends, I was speaking about Dark Prophecy for all of 2023, and I was just thinking about that. All over here, right? Dark Prophecy. Pray for the best, plan for the worst. Dark Prophecy, Bitcoin Dark Prophecy, okay? 100K resistance. Wow, we're here. Okay, so yeah, I want to tell you conceptually, so don't worry about the specific prices, okay? Because Dark Prophecy, I was like, well, you know, if we're around 80 to 100K BTC, we can't go up, and then everyone gets fooled. And this is just wild, Vince, because in 2023, my concept was that they're going to send Trump in. Trump's going to win back in. Like, he wasn't even running yet. And I just thought, something to get everyone of us so excited that we think 2025 is going to be amazing. So everybody comes in 2024, which it seems to be that's what's happened. However, okay, because I would stop there and I'll think to myself, go, man, that means we're cooked. But I remember, just to tell you, how did the story finish? Okay, how did the story finish? I had no price anything because you don't predict that. Okay, I had no, but my story finished with, so I don't want to, I'm just guessing, right? I said, if 2025 is trash, you go all in and you get 2 years of up only. Yeah. 2 years of up and now, obviously, we don't know anything. We're just guessing, dude. Everyone's just freaking guessing. Up and down, left and around. I don't know. But it would be fantastic if that happened. Also, it would be scary next year if you even got alt season wave 1. Because you'd be waiting so long. Right? It will be scary. Because like everyone will say like, oh, you finally made your 5x after holding now what is 6 years. Right? You're getting greedy for holding longer. So I guess we'll just have to cross those paths when we get there. From the news as well, friends, world equities have obviously pulled back from their parabolic run. Man, they did like 7, 8, 9 weeks, like months in a row. Green, pretty much everything was due for it. We all knew, just our price action was being weak the whole time. Also, this is a message from the Wintermute founder. He goes, nothing has changed since his tweet. We've never had plans to sue Binance, nor do we see any reason to do it in the future. And he probably just calls on people who are spreading false news. So there was this rumor that circulated that, Wintermute's going to sue Binance. We don't know when it comes to these, but everyone's looking for a reason. That's the thing. So the price goes down and everyone's like, oh, we correlate stuff. We go, oh, there's a big red candle. It reminds me of FTX 2022. There are going to be dead bodies. More stuff's going to come out. People are going to sue each other, sell. There's all these like infinite dumping and stuff out here. Everyone's trying to like look for the boogeyman out here. Just like there's no news today. What's the news? Oh, we just dumped down because we're crap. So, yeah, just sentiment's pretty much, it's still the same. Now, where to from here, friends? We'll be thinking about this Bitcoin weekly chart here. I mean, it is a believer's cycle. I mean, like, yeah, man, because here's the thing. You can point to any different, you can point to any different point in time, grab some data points and go, oh, this time is different or this time isn't different. Yeah. Like, for example, we go, oh, we haven't even tested the weekly SuperTrend more than like 5 times. Are you saying this time is different? And people say like, yeah, it is different. But ultimately, we want answers, and we're not gonna get the answers. We're not gonna get the answers. All we can do is just like, because if we can rely on one thing though, no one's using my weekly SuperTrend. Let's just look at that. Nobody in crypto uses my weekly SuperTrend. No one. Ivan's indicator, he toggles it. He makes it tighter. Just to give you an example, literally no one wants to use the SuperTrend. So that's a data point for you and me. It could be that that's the thing that carries us the whole way. It could be that. Everyone's using 4-year cycle, death cross, moving out, whatever, everything else, RSIs and stuff out here. Everyone's using all of those. They're using the global liquidity stuff. It's just, yeah. The only thing they're not using is this. This is the green weekly SuperTrend. And if we check out, and there was a fake out here when China did the emergency ban, but that's Bitcoin dropping 50%, right? So right now, we haven't had that at all. Of course, bad news could always come out, but we're still holding on here. Holding on by literally a tooth. Now, as you know as well, friends, altcoins totally cooked still while Ethereum is nuking to the floor. Pulse Chain moving down with everything. Man, it's wild, friends. Like Pulse Chain once again front-runned all of this as well. The Pulse Chain core coins were going down. This is what's been like a pattern. This is what happened like 10 times now. So Pulse Chain coins go down. We like reject first. And then we're down like 10 or 15%. And everyone comes out saying, because the rest of the market's still high. And everyone comes out to say failure, trash, we wasted everything. They do that. Yeah, but then you give it enough time, like a month or two, and then the rest of the market starts rolling over. And they catch back down to us. Okay. This is Pulse Chain on the weekly chart as well. Yeah, man, just cooked. 55% down. What do you do, man? What do you do? You pray it gets better. It doesn't get better. If there's a bear market, God help us. I'll be like, bro, we've been through. Friends, I just want to show you. I'll show this to you now. I've got this chart. Okay. Like, I've got more videos on this coming up when we construct it. But so see these red boxes. Okay, this is our year 2025. If you go here, you see this? This is 2022. Okay, there were 8 red monthly candles. 8. Friends, I want you to think about this. There were 8 red monthly candles. Luna collapsed. Celsius collapsed. Yeah. You had like $16 billion market caps collapsing. You had the stablecoin collapse. Right? Huge liquidations. Celsius, Ponzi. BlockFi, rocket ship, Ponzi. Think about all of that unwinding of like the Doge mania and all of that stuff. FTX collapsed that year. 8 red monthly candles. 8. We've just had 8 red monthly candles this year. What's the reason? There's nothing. What's the reason? What exploded this year, friends? Besides just a couple of funds, unfortunately, and stuff. Just what's the big reason? There's none. You know. So, like I said, all the news is Fugazi. It's just price action. For whatever reason, he wants to do this, and we're just going to let it do it. In Ethereum's 2017 year, there were 10 green. In 2021, there was 8 green. Okay, and then we've had only 3 green this year. Ouch. Terrible. So, you know, if you wanted to make a case for the next 2 years being good, you could say that. You could say, oh, whenever Ethereum had 8, look at this. When Ethereum had 8 red candles, in the year after, it only had 2 out of 10 red candles. Wow. Check that out. I mean, this is still trash. There was a lot of dojis here. They were like scamming it here. But it's just interesting, right? That's crazy. In 2023, Ethereum only had 2 of 10 candles were red. And that's, you know why that's trash? Because the ETH-BTC still went down as well. That's crazy. And then you have 2024 like that. Does that mean that's what's going to happen next year? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just showing you like, because that's why a lot of us are confused. They're like, wait a minute. If we're this bad and nothing started, and we're just starting the bear market, what's going to happen next year? We like created a zero as well. But you got to remember as well, friends, that the people who are making these assumptions, they don't know what the hell they're talking about either. They're flipping coins as well. It's just that they look like they're correct all the time because they come out to stick their head out. Now what we'll do, baby dolls, I wanted to look at this for myself. This is Bitcoin on the CME. There is a gap here at 92. Okay, this is Bitcoin and CME. There is a gap here unfilled at 92. Are we going to get it? I guess that's what everyone's going to be short and waiting for. We did come back. We've basically slapped through these. Yeah, this looks absolutely just garbage. It always looks garbage, man. I mean, look, friend, it looked garbage here. You know, check this out, friends. Remember this? It looked absolutely garbage up here. It's like, oh, look, it's rolling over. And then look what happened. Pop. You see that? And then look, it looked like it was over here. Remember, everyone? They sold a third of their portfolio here. They sold a third. Trump tariffs going to kill the world. It looked really, really bad. Okay, look, this is what it looked like, man. Just to show you. That's what it looked like out here. Actually, you know what I'll do? Just to get an idea, just to give you even a better look. Friends, this is literally what it looked like. Right there. This is the Bitcoin CME. Right? It looked like, look at this. It broke the low. Here you go. You're like closing below it. Everyone's just like, oh my gosh, it's going to go all the way down and like come back here. Everyone thought, oh, it's going to retest 60K. And then if we just let it play out, boop, 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 look what ended up happening. And it felt garbage, by the way, this whole way. We all knew it felt garbage. It was only like this nice one release point. I remember this one day where things like look better. Unfortunately, though, look at that. You're watching this scam in real time. Look at this, man. What an absolute scam. Oh, man. Because I really, like, what words do you have for this? This is some sort of shaitan devil stuff. What is this? You come down, you break the high, and then you send it through the low. Like, so what do you do at this point? Well, you got to make a decision, right? We think about why in crypto? Why in crypto? To make money? Okay. Well, 5 years of down. Why are you in crypto for? Ask yourself that. Of course, we want to make money, but I like it. I like the applications it's made. I like that it's a global network. I like how the world is becoming more digital than not. You should learn from this friend's story in your heads. Okay. So the world's becoming more digital. Think about this. Okay. In the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, do you think the world's going to be more digital or less? Okay. Do you think do you think more people are going to come in? Now, it feels like nobody else is going to come in, but think about people who don't even want to use it. Do you think there'll be more people using stable coins or less? Obviously more. Stable coins have been growing parabolic. People in second world countries, Asian countries, etc., they don't want to hold their currency. Okay, that's more adoption for us, you know. I know what it feels like. It feels trash because it's already been happening and we're not pricing it in. I know. Maybe they'll wake up with some sort of kink later on out there in the world, some kink, some US Fed decision. I don't know what it's going to be. If we knew the decision, you literally just hold and never get in until that very, very moment, all right? But look what happened in the stock market. Imagine, like, you know, you missed out on all the big stock moves. Imagine you're waiting for the US Fed to start QE again. I mean, like, you know, Nvidia and Tesla and everything's already mooned hard, right? So let's just hope, I guess, this gold rotation thing has legs eventually. Gold slowing down. And we'll see what happens, okay? Hopefully we're not at zero tomorrow, but like every day we wake up, we get closer and closer to zero. Maybe the pain will stop at some point. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.